Hello, my name is Voya and welcome to my deep guide. For a while now, I was quite interested and eager to actually do this comparison, and it's actually a comparison that I think matters quite a bit, especially for people who want to use these note-taking e-reader devices for reader side of things. And the thing that I'm testing here back to back between the Remarkable 2, in this case Note Air, but that's basically Boox platform, and the Supernote A6X, is basically checking out how does it all function when you want to transfer multiple files and quite a bit of data onto these devices wirelessly or wired. So let's check it out. Alright, first things first. So this is going to be the test set of documents that I'm going to be using. So this folder here, test documents, it contains, how many do we have? 13 documents here. And the total size is 1.15 gigabytes. And as you can see, they range from 233 kilobytes all the way up to 804 megabytes. So we have like this kind of full range of documents here to kind of see how they transfer and yeah, just generally how the platforms can deal with something like this. For me, this is a real world scenario because yeah, I just simply use these types of documents kind of often, and this is something that I'm genuinely interested in. So let's start with the Boox platform because it has 3 different ways of actually dealing with this. The first way that you can upload content or books onto your Boox device is via their cloud service. So if you go to push.boox.com, then you will have this option of going here to push. And in the push files, you can also push a web address, and which will actually convert it to a text file, which is not something that we're interested here. But you also have this lower portion down here, which says click to add files or drag and drop file to upload, right? So let's try that one first. So let's click in here, locate our documents. So we have the test documents somewhere. Review resources, test documents, and then we have all of this. So first of all, I can definitely select multiple files, and I have my stopwatch ready as well. So let's now click on open and click the start watch. So 3, 2, 1, go. So it kind of stopped at this point, all of it except this collected works of Carl Gustav Jung, which is 804 megabytes, has been transferred, let's say 5 minutes or something like that, but it did not transfer the biggest one. So let's try and transfer the biggest one on its own and see if it can handle it. So let's try that. Click here, and then where is it? Let's find it. Collected works, there we go. So let's try this. File size could not be handled. All right, so 800 megabytes is too large for the push Boox method. However, the other one, which was 191, or basically, yeah, 191 megabytes, was handled without any problems. So, all right, now we have that result. Now let's go to my preferred method of transfer and see how that works. Now the other way of doing it, and for me vastly better way of doing it, is something called Wi-Fi transfer. And if you go into your apps, I have them organized here into folders, but you will find something called Transfer Boox. And if you tap on that one, you will have this data here, and you will be able to either scan the QR code and go there, or type in this one, the IP address of the actual device on your Wi-Fi network. So you type in the correct address, including the port, and then you hit enter, and now you are basically hooked up to the device here. And let me just get this ready as well so that we can time it. And you have the same type of similar type of functionality. So you go upload files, and now let's try and upload all of those 13 files and see how long that takes. So 3, 2, 1, go. And here we have much better interface as far as I'm concerned, because first of all, you have detailed listing of what is going on, what's the process, and what's the progress of each of the files. And as you can see, we are going very, very quickly. However, the big one is still not even started. Maybe they're waiting for the other ones to finish. Let's see if they're able to actually deal with the big one. Yeah, they started it. However, I'm just gonna try and monitor when Calvin and Hobbes actually is finished, just so that we can have like a comparison between how long it took for the push Boox method to transfer these 12 files. And yeah, I think it's incomparable, under a minute. So this was like 48 seconds for these, and it's uploading successfully this one. So now let's wait until the big one is transferred and see how long that takes. Done. Okay, so 2 minutes 38 seconds, out of which 2 minutes it went to transfer the big book. And the cool thing is that now if I just go back and I go into my library and in the Wi-Fi transfer, there they are. So these are all of the books that we just transferred, and they're immediately available on the device. Vastly better way to do wireless transfer of data onto the Boox platform for me is the Wi-Fi transfer. Now let's check out the final one, which is the direct USB connection, and measure that and see how that performs. All right, so I grabbed the USB cable. Let's hook it up. All right, so now let's go into Note Air and find where do I want to put it in. So I can just go into Boox, so that's into here. And now I can just transfer the entire test documents folder. So I'm just gonna drag and drop here. And as I release, I'm gonna start the timer. So 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, we started the timer and it's transferring the books. We can see that the test documents is appearing here. And we can probably even monitor files appearing. Yep, they are. They're updating and getting the everything they need. So yeah, this seems to be by far, of course, obviously, the fastest and the most convenient method, if this is the type of workflow and you don't mind the cable connection. But yeah, for me, Wi-Fi transfer or this. Yeah. I mean, this is under a minute for the whole thing. And done. So 40 seconds for the whole shebang using the data cable, and super duper easy to actually do. Now let's check out the Supernote. Alright, so I've been trying to get the Supernote to finish the synchronization process and everything so that I can test out the uploading process, because this has worked in the past pretty much without a problem, but now I have experienced a problem, which is the synchronization. I can't seem to get out of this synchronization loop, which is if I press synchronization here, it's going to get to 90 or 91% and remain stuck there for half an hour until it kind of fails the synchronization. And furthermore, in here, if I just want to delete this file and confirm, yeah, he's stuck in a synchronization process. So I'm going to classify this as fail, because the service like this needs to be reliable. However, when it works, I can testify that it does work well, and I was able to transfer all of these things, all of the files, 1.15 gigabytes without a problem into here. So that worked fine. But yeah, I'm going to connect the Supernote with the cable, and this should work pretty much normally. Let's now see. There we go. We have the Supernote over here. Let's make this a little bit smaller. And the USB transfer, let's even measure it so that we can compare. So now let's drag and drop, and 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, it's counting and it's transferring. It should be roughly the same speed between the two, because they're technically speaking the same USB drive, you know, eMMC, not UFS 2.1. And of course, this process is going to be faster, as I've shown in a Note 3 review, but the process itself is pretty much identical. So let's see, it should be around 40 seconds, I think. There we go, 40.19. I think this is pretty much identical as I had on the Note Air. So at least on the Supernote, I know that when the cloud service works, I was able to transfer all of these files without a problem. However, I encountered obviously an issue here and it was not able to do it. But most importantly, I was able to hook up the cable and just transfer it this way, including the really big file. And let's try and open it up and see what the device says. There we go. So it opens up normally and I'm able to, just kind of use it as one should. So at least that part worked on the Supernote. Alright, so I'm gonna check out the Remarkable now, and on the Remarkable platform, one or two, it doesn't matter, they're exactly the same. There's two methods that you can actually upload files to your device. The first one is via their cloud service, and you can access the cloud service either using the desktop app or the mobile app. Now, the mobile app is really bad at the moment, like borderline unusable, so I do recommend the desktop app. I updated to the latest version, so everything is running the latest stuff. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to Documents and let's say Other, because that's kind of empty, and let's go into Other here. And what we're gonna do is we should be able to now drag and drop all of the documents, right? So I'm just gonna drag and drop all of these into here, and let's see what we get. Alright, so all of the documents have now successfully uploaded, including the giant one, the 10,644 pages, which is 800 megabytes large. However, I'm not seeing anything being uploaded here on the device. I do have an indication that something is going on, and there we go. So now it's started to do stuff, but yeah, maybe it's waiting for something. There we go. I think that the indication is that it's Calvin that's being uploaded now, and this is what? Okay, so not downloaded document was corrupt. Okay, he seems to be having some difficulties now. Maybe downloaded document was corrupt. So maybe he has a difficulty with this really large file. So let's try and move this to trash, and yeah, let's empty the trash. Delete and go back to my files. Document, Other. Okay, so now this is kind of clean, and let's see if we're gonna get something now happening here. All right, so he's definitely loading some stuff. So yeah, we have storage is increasing. All right, well, let's wait a little bit and see, because he's obviously doing something. So maybe he's just not displaying stuff. Let's wait a little bit. What the? Did you guys see that? He just went to like 497 and then suddenly dropped down, and then maybe he's working now? No. At this point, I'm just gonna disconnect and reconnect and see what's gonna be happening now. Hey, there we go. At least I have one file appearing. Page 1 out of 1. So maybe the big file was the problem. And these are the 12 files now that are up there. So, but he's still updating them. It would be cool if we had like an updating icon per item, not just down here, but that you actually know which one is still uploading and being processed, because at the moment you can see like page 1 out of 1 on all of them, but what I'm expecting is that once all of these guys are processed and uploaded or downloaded from the cloud, that then they will appear like this guy here. Yeah, so there we go. It is doing it per document. So far so good. It seems to be able to progress a little. And it looks like that the big one, the 800 megabyte, while it was able to actually upload to the server in the desktop app, this guy was absolutely not able to handle it. Even though it does have now more RAM, I mean, with 1 gig of RAM, it should still be able to handle an 800 megabyte document, but still, yeah, maybe that's the thing that kind of got it confused. And another one is now deemed corrupt. But is he going to be able to continue, or is he going to get totally stuck now? And just to clarify, I mean, these are the same documents that upload normally to all of the other devices, so they're most definitely not corrupt. It's just how the device is able to handle these things. Well, this clearly doesn't work. All right, so if it's having problems with a 30 megabyte document, I mean, it's kind of ridiculous that I expect it to be able to handle 800 megabyte documents. So yeah, for me this is a fail, because yeah, he was able to do very small documents down to under 30 megabytes. He was able to handle this, and now he's definitely very confused, and the whole process, I wouldn't call this usable and functional, and there's no point even measuring time because it didn't finish. So all right. I'm gonna try the USB connection one more time. So this is enabled. Let's type in the IP address. That's the IP address that we have. All right, and now let's go to documents and other. So I'm in my files, documents, other. Okay, let's now monitor stuff. Maybe it's bugged and it's actually transferring files into the root. Maybe I didn't notice that. So, and I'm just gonna transfer one file at a time to begin with, or let's try 4 small ones. So these are all under 1 megabyte each. So I'm just gonna put them in here, and it's doing something, but it's definitely not doing it in here. Oh my God. You have to be kidding me. Does anyone even test this stuff in Remarkable? I'm seriously beginning to believe that nobody is even testing anything. They're just kind of releasing stuff, and there you go. This is freaking unbelievable. So yeah, what's actually happening is that the USB interface, web interface, is completely ignoring the path that you're in. It doesn't matter where I'm at. If I just drag and drop, he's gonna upload into the root. So yeah, I could be wherever you wanted to. Yeah, okay. So yeah, clearly I'm in my files, documents, other, and it's not doing anything into the other. Instead, it's uploading files directly into here. But at least it's uploading them. So I'm going to try and upload now all of the ones that are under 100 megabytes, and just drag and drop and see what we get. So some kind of progress would be great, because, you know, maybe if I go into the root, I'm gonna start seeing it. Or there we go. So they are being uploaded, but now I'm not seeing it here. Maybe I need to go back. Yes, so I need to go back to refresh so that it refreshes. So now it has these documents here. I'm gonna let it settle down, before I give it a very big file to kind of see if it's able to handle a 191 megabyte file. Let's do that. Alright, so at least it can do these things. Oh no, sorry, it's still doing this here. Let's let it settle down one at a time. Okay, hopefully now we're done. I guess he's done with all of them. Okay, now I can try and drag and drop the larger file. So Kevin and Hobbes. Okay, let's try again because I think it was the wrong area. So here, there we go. This is where I have to drag and drop. Some progress bar or some indication on what's going on. It would have been nice. It's as if they've never seen or interacted with a normal user interface. So at this point, I have no idea if this is working or not. You know, that's kind of the problem that I have with this interface. And it's uploading 190 megabytes, so it might need to take some time. But then again, it might be blocked, or I have no idea. Or maybe it's putting it who knows where in the root, like we've figured it out now. Hey, it's working? What? But I'm uploading Calvin Hobbes books, not these two. So these two haven't been updated at all, and then they don't appear here. Oh wow, okay, so I don't know what's going on anymore. This is just crazy. So these were like 50, 60 megabytes and they were uploaded 29 seconds ago. So that means that the Kevin and Hobbes, even if it's working, it's gonna take a very, very long time, and I have zero indication here of what's actually going on. This is just terrible. It seems to be functioning, but the way that it functions, it's absolutely terrible. All right, I'm done. I don't care at this point. Like, so this is how it works. If you consider this is functional and operational, great for you. But for me, this is completely dysfunctional. Alright, before I begin with the conclusion, I want to just mention why QuirkLogic Papier wasn't included in this. And the reason is twofold. First, currently it doesn't get recognized, nor does it have an option to actually hook it up with a USB. So there's no wired transfer method at the moment. And the second reason is currently it has a size limit of 25 megabytes, as I mentioned before, that's the maximum file size for conversion into its workbook. As such, under current conditions, it's not even a contender because you simply can't. There's not much you can do. Only up to 25 megabytes it can be converted into workbooks. However, I do know that they are planning on improving these things relatively soon, I think. And that's actually what I'm looking forward to check it out once it actually gets that functionality, because it's a very, very young platform still, and then run it through this and see how that looks like once these issues have actually been addressed. Now on to the results and the conclusion. Clearly the Boox platform, and in this case Note Air, is the absolute undisputed clear winner of this kind of thing, not only because it has the versatility and different types of methods, but also you can use Google Drive, you can use Dropbox or anything else that you might want to use, because it does have those apps that you can use. But even on a pure factory based kind of platform, you have two wireless methods and you have a wired method, and all of them worked flawlessly. So I didn't have any problems or anything like that, and it was able to deal with smallest and largest files without a hiccup. So clear winner. Second close place is the Supernote A6X, which unfortunately for this test it kind of exhibited the Achilles heel with the synchronization issues, but I think that has to be taken into account. But what I think also has to be taken into account is that that's not the norm, that's an exception. So usually it behaves normally, and I was able to transfer even the big files and everything else while I was preparing and testing these things beforehand for this video. and it performed normally. It just so happens that while I was doing this, it exhibited one of the flaws, and I'm actually quite happy that it did, because it's a good thing to experience these things so that they can be addressed by the developers. But despite the wireless hiccups method, the wired method works absolutely brilliantly, and the device was able to handle it without any problems. So plus marks there. And plus it also has a Dropbox, so you can sync and transfer files via your Dropbox account. Unfortunately, Remarkable 2 performed as the absolute worst in this test, simply because both its wireless and the wired methods of transferring were flawed or dysfunctional, and the question remains, is the device actually able to run these large files such as that 800 megabyte PDF? Since I haven't been able to successfully transfer it onto the device, and that the device doesn't report it as a corrupt one, I don't know. This is something that I really do want to kind of exhaust every possible measure and see conclusively, can the Remarkable run these large files or not. The first indication is that it can't, but we'll see. I'll test more and then we'll see. This is a test about wireless and wired transfer of files onto the device, and as you've seen, it's I gave it a fair shot. I mean, out of the bunch, it took an hour and a half to actually perform all of the tests on the Remarkable 2, and I really gave it my best shot that I could, to be very, very fair about it, but it just couldn't do it. So yeah. I hope you liked the video and that you find the information in it useful. If you do, please like and subscribe, and if you're new to the channel, welcome. And also check out the playlists and all the other stuff, because there's quite a bit of content on the channel, and the playlists are organized per device, so you might find that interesting. Also, if you like what I do, you can check out the My Deep Guide on the patreon.com, where your generous patronage doesn't only support the My Deep Guide and make sure that I can provide better quality and more regular content, but you will also be able to get bi-monthly type of vloggy behind the scenes type of content as a thank you. Stay safe, stay healthy, and see you in the next video. Bye!